I'm Sophia A. Jackson, and today I am joined by
Joey James.
Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you too.
Are you at the Lyric today? Where are you joining us from?
Yes, I'm at the Lyric today. Just got here and the work doesn't stop. I've gone in the room and Kayla, choreographer, is like, right, Joey, watch this bit because you're gonna be in it in a minute. And I'm like, okay, cool.
So in your own words, so you're playing the protagonist, Jack, in Jack and the Beanstalk in the Lyric Hammersmith's panto this year. So in your own words, how is this Jack and the Beanstalk different to any others that we might have seen?
Do you know what? I feel like this Jack and the Beanstalk is very different because they've tried to mix, obviously, the history of the classic Jack and the Beanstalk with all the elements, of course. But then when the director Nicholai explained to me this story, and there was such depth behind it that even when I explain it to people who have kids and stuff like that, they're like, oh, they think it's great because
Oh.
I don't want to ruin the story, but with the depth of the story, one of my friends was like, yeah, my daughter loves being in the house, and we do this segment where every weekend we do performances. She
Oh,
says
wow.
with her two kids, her two kids will rehearse something, come down and perform for her in the living room, and then
Yeah.
she said, but as soon as she leaves the house, that part of her kind of just goes away, where that part of her is really confident. And I think with this story, it really highlights the fact of like be confident and being imaginative in every element, not just in the house, but like when you're outside in the world, like don't be afraid to be who you are. And I think that is really such a big thing that I felt from the story of this show.
Yeah, I think with Panto, it's quite difficult to balance like being hilariously funny and a bit camp and a bit out there, and
Yeah,
also trying to deliver a message at the same time. I think it's quite complex to be able to do that with pantomime. Last year, my family and I, we went to watch Aladdin, and we watched quite a few pantomimes last year, but Aladdin at the Lyric was definitely our favorite. So
yeah,
no
that's fair.
pressure.
I know, right? Do you know what it is? I think that it's a really good balance with, Jack is the character that he is. He's quite a timid character, and he's trying to find himself and find his way. And I think the different layers are really nice to see, and I think that's the thing that's going to be quite effective because you have got the comedy of like the bad guy and the dame and you know what I mean, and all those kind of elements, but then you've still got the moment where people can really hone in on some emotion as well as like, do you know what I mean, that the laughter. So it was a real journey, which is really nice to see.
You said that he's quite timid and shy. So what do you share any of Jack's personality traits, or are you
Do you
completely
know what?
different?
Do you know what? The one thing that again allowed me to connect to the story quite easily was the fact that we're all performers, in a world where you go into an audition room, you sing, and you feel judged, you feel like, you know what I mean? And it's like for me, that part of Jack really kind of like connects with me in terms of like I can be so overly prepared for an audition. Like I've been rehearsing and practicing all week. I go into the audition, and for some reason, it's like my soul has left my body. I have no
Oh,
memory of anything that I'm supposed to be doing, and it is that thing that as soon as you get in front of people where you feel like like they're looking at you and they're expecting something, it's like you feel that pressure. And I think
yeah.
like the character Jack very much feels that pressure of kind of like speaking up and being out there and not being afraid to be himself. And that is, yes, it's very hard to navigate in the world. And I just think that like people think that just because you're an adult and you're grown up and you've lived a lot of life doesn't mean that these things are left behind. I still think in our adult life we still experience them in different ways. So yeah, I'll definitely say that I'm definitely connected it to a certain extent.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you said that. So my best friend and I were talking was it yesterday, today about how hard public speaking is. And if you're an actor and you still get those nerves, imagine how the rest of us are dealing with that. Like you already have the tools to be able to, present your best self, but everyday people are just like, it's just hideous. I just
But,
don't
but
like it.
But you know what the strangest thing is? The strangest thing about that is that I can go on stage. and perform and do whatever it is that I need to do when I need to do it. But when it comes to me speaking publicly and I'm not playing a part, I'm not a character, I'm not, it's like I'll stand up in church and I'm speaking, I'm nervous, I'm just there.
Yeah.
My auntie's there, like, come on, give your testimony. And I'm just looking at the whole congregation, like, and I've performed in front of thousands. So it's like, it really, I can't even explain it. But yeah, I totally get that part of like, I kind of have I have an out of body experience when I'm not performing and I have to speak to people. It's so
That's
daunting. So,
That's very reassuring because if you feel like that, then that I was saying to her, it's totally normal. Like I don't know anybody who actually enjoys public speaking without,
no.
it just makes me feel physically sick at the thought. So I don't even know how you go on stage and looking at all those expecting faces. Everyone's like they want something amazing from you, and you have to deliver that because they've paid money. That's so much pressure.
But you know what it is? It's like, it definitely is a lot of pressure. But I think with the process of you're coming into rehearsals, you're doing what you're doing. It's like my love language is words of affirmation because
Okay.
although I'm very confident, I
Yeah.
do like to hear that I'm doing a good job. So it gives me something to then go on and encourages me a bit more. But in this kind of situation, you don't really have a lot of time to think about what people are going to think. But before you know it, you're on stage and you're just going.
Yeah, but I suppose with Panto, at least it's a bit more relaxed, as in it's kind of there's a lot of mayhem going on. So,
Yeah, very
but
much so.
yeah, you still have to deliver. So how are rehearsals going anyway?
The rehearsals are good, man. I mean, I I come from a different type of show. Like, I've done like West End shows and stuff like that, and
Mm.
I've never done a panto before. So
Yeah,
it's a wild experience of like, I thought I had to like concentrate hard when I was doing my other shows, but this here, because it's like you got so many like great characters, great actors. You got Jade Hackett, she's just incredible, and she
yeah.
makes me laugh so much all the time. And I'm trying so hard to stay focused and not laugh at things that she's doing. And it's like, oh, it's insane. But yeah, I think everyone in rehearsals is so like encouraging, and
Mm.
everyone's doing and playing their part. And yeah, just it's just good vibes, man. And it's like I obviously came from doing Tina, so the the story of Tina and the journey that she had, there's a lot of layers to that. But
Yeah,
it's very heavy. The story is very heavy.
yeah.
So to go from that to this just feels so nice, so light, so bright. And I'm just really enjoying it. I'm just really enjoying like learning how to do different things. Nicholai, again, the director, is so encouraging, and I'm just trying to learn as much from him as I can. Everywhere I go, I always try and learn as much as I can from people.
And it must be such a nice way to end the year as well, just doing something fun and enjoying what you're doing. And yeah, I think it must be fun ending the year doing
Yeah,
pantomime.
you know what? It's again, it's something I've never done. So it's yeah, like for me as well. I've gone into the audition and I'm just like, right, cool. Maybe I'll be a tree in the back or something like that. No, I was like, you're gonna be front and center as Jack, and I was like, the pressure that you was talking about begins. But yeah, it's such a nice way to end the year. And like I have a lot of friends that have kids. I have like, lots of nieces and nephews, and it's like such a nice thing that the whole family can come and
Yeah,
see. And it's like I was on my way here, my friend was messaging me, he's like, oh yeah, just to let you know, like my cousin is and his kids are coming to see the show. I was like, oh, okay, cool, great. Like
this is
but it's like, yeah, it's so
great.
nice. Yeah, so nice, like the whole family orientated energy of it. It's that, yeah, it's nice.
And was panto something that you went to with your own family when you were growing up?
Not really, like I've only ever seen one panto, and that was more so in my adult life. And I
Okay.
remember going, I remember seeing in the audience, and this is someone who like hasn't really gone to that many shows, like, do you know what I mean? And at this time, I wasn't in theatre, so I was kind of like, I think I was in Thriller at the time. Actually, I was in Thriller at the time, and a totally different show. So when I've gone to see this, and I'm sitting there, and I'm seeing people shouting, and oh no, you
What is
didn't. Oh
going on?
yeah, I'm seeing boo, and I'm like, oh my, what is happening here? Like the shock. I was just like, oh, so wait. And then after like the interval, I was like, okay, I get it, I get it, I get it.
Yeah.
And then I was fully involved after that. But no, I've never really. seen them as a kid. So it was a very wild experience as an adult, like experiencing this stuff. And because we actually had yesterday we had these school kids in
Hmm.
to come on like watch our rehearsal run
Okay,
through.
that's fun.
Yeah, it was very, and there was these two girls on the end, and they was like giving everything. They was so involved, it was unreal. But it was such a like humbling experience, like feeling their reception, and they were so encouraging to me. Like they're like, Jack, you can do it, and I'm just like, it
Oh, I think
was
it's
so.
definitely the beauty of panto. Like some, obviously, usually when you go to the theatre, it's like you can't speak, and if you whisper, people are
Mm.
turning around. Panto, you can just let loose. Like you
That's
just
what I'm saying to you.
anything goes. It's brilliant within reason. But yeah,
Yeah,
um,
within reason.
you can't just randomly be booing people. But yeah, I love pantomime for that. Um, So you've had quite a varied career, which you've touched upon. So Tina the musical, playing MJ in Thriller Live on tour, and also touring with Emily Sandé. And now you're adding pantomime to the list. So what have been some of your favourite theatre performances so far?
Um, I think one of my favorite performances was um when I was on the Thriller tour and we was in Sweden. And I remember being there and like we up to this point we've done a few places and stuff like that. And at this point, a guy called Britt, who was one of the vocalists, he said to me before I went out to do The Man in the Mirror, which is like one of my favorite songs ever. Before I went out to sing it, he goes to me, "Be careful out there because they might put their lights up and it gets quite emotional." And I'm like, "Oh, please." So fast forward to like 3 minutes later, I'm on stage blubbering while I'm singing this song because literally, as I've come out, I'm there like, gonna make a change for once in my life. And then you see the lights start popping up, popping up, popping up, popping up. All of a sudden, the whole place is full. I'm on stage on my own, and I'm just like,
Oh,
it was, but it was the most it was one of the most beautiful moments of like my career of like I had one of those epiphanies of like how hard I've worked to come to this
yeah,
point. And it was like such a beautiful moment. And I was so grateful in that moment. And I was crying because of that. And it was
yeah.
just like I've been on such a roller coaster journey up until that point. So it was
Mhm.
really like one of those moments where it really hit me like, wow, I'm really here. I'm really just like, this is really what I'm doing. Like doing something you love doing and everyone is loving it. And it's just like, there's no better feeling. And that's the feeling of like why I'm performing in the first place. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that was definitely like one of my highlights, man.
But
Um,
also playing Michael Jackson's like major, you know. Um,
yeah,
I I can't imagine there being a greater expectation on you to be able to perform that to the best of your ability. And then you had people in tears. So job
yeah,
done.
yeah, literally. No, it's just, I think as well, like, it's like for a lot of like when I first started performing, obviously I wasn't your typical theatre boy. I came from being in like a boy group and I kind of just found my way into the theatre world. So I kind of was kind of like that imposter syndrome, like
Mm,
feel like do you belong there kind of thing. So in those amazing moments where you're like, I've been like almost idolizing Michael Jackson for my whole life, and then he's given me this gift of being
yeah.
able to perform, and it was like those things there that just really, yeah, put a cherry on top.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that the audience are recognizing your talents as well. I think that's
Yeah,
really, you kind of need that
yeah.
validation as well. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that story.
You're
Um,
welcome.
okay, so finally, we've got quick fire questions, which you can't really think about for too long. You just have to say the first thing that comes. But
Not this.
before that,
Pressure.
you mentioned imposter syndrome. As a newbie, what would you to a newbie, what would you say to them in terms of navigating imposter syndrome? Someone
I
that's new
just,
to the acting industry.
I just think that one thing I've noticed along the way is that everybody is going to come and go and do their thing, and you can't watch what people are doing. I think the most important thing is to focus on yourself. And one thing I realized coming through and doing auditions and doing all these things, and you do auditions, you get knocked back, and you don't know what's out there. You don't know what could be around the corner. And one thing for me is that if I walk into the room and I do my best and I don't get it or I don't move forward, then that's just not for me. And there's something else that's for me. And I need to focus on that and not focus on those moments that I was in. It's so hard, especially like I'm a product of like I'm one of those people that you can look at and really be like, okay, cool, if he can do it, I can.
Okay.
Because like I said, I didn't come from that world. I come from just me and my boys just made a little group, and then all of a sudden we're on TV and we're doing all these things. We believed that we could do it, and that's
Mm.
all it took. It just took us believing that we can do it, and just not taking no for an answer. And if this is not right for me, then there's something else that is. And it's the same thing of like when I left Tina, and I was sitting thinking, right, what am I going to do now? And I went from 1 week having absolutely nothing to 2 weeks later, I've got three things to choose from. So
Wow.
it's like you just got to keep going. And that's the advice that I would give. Just keep going, focus on what you're doing, and just block out all the noise as much as you can.
Yeah, I think you were right when you said it is really hard to do. Hearing nobody wants to hear no, but I think
Yeah,
there's a skill in itself in being able to dust yourself off and be like, right, okay, next.
definitely. Because you know what it is? I just think that when you hear no, it's almost you feel like you're not good enough. And
Yeah.
that's not what it is. Everybody is right for a certain thing. And I know if I walk into an audition for like Mamma Mia, I know that that's probably not suited to me very well. So,
Yeah.
I might get lucky and they might like what I do, but like again another factor of like know what your craft is like, know what you're good at, and give your best at that. Like I said,
Yeah.
just focus on the things that you can do, and the rest will take care of itself. But it's like one of the hardest things is going in for something and realizing that actually that's not quite for me. A perfect example is before I did Tina, I went
Yeah.
into an audition for Lion King. I
Okay.
got about 4 rounds in, and the casting director was like, Joey, we love what you're doing, and you have not put a foot wrong. Like
Oh,
I've been looking for something that you've done wrong, but you just haven't. He's like, unfortunately, you just don't have the experience right now. You haven't really done, a lot of
oh,
acting. So for us to take a risk on you to play Simba is
yeah.
like a a big risk.
Yeah.
So he's like, but I don't want you to think, and it was really nice because I don't want you to think that, like, what you did wasn't good. Like every time you came in the room and I gave you direction, you did it straight away, and I was just like, how has this guy not got any acting experience, but he's this good? And little did I know that, like, 2 months later, the same casting agency that was in that audition was casting Tina, and they had almost already decided that I would be great for that. So it's like
Oh,
these are the things where you need to stay positive. Because if I was just like, oh, I give up, I'm not going to do it anymore,
yeah.
I would have missed that opportunity. Where it's like you never know what's around the corner, and it's just so important to just keep going. So important.
Do you think maybe you will go back and try for Simba though?
You know what? Maybe you never know.
Maybe.
Maybe now I've got some experience under my belt. You never know.
It's time to knock on their door. All right, quick fire. The person
Right.
you would love to see at Jack and the Beanstalk press night, dead, alive, or fictional?
Um, Robin Williams,
Okay.
just because he's like does lots of characters, and he's the first person I thought of when I took this part because he was like doing all the different things.
Yeah. Um, First time you went to the theatre and who took you?
um, it was a random place in. It was at Fairfield Halls.
Oh, Croydon.
Yeah,
Okay,
Croydon. Fairfield Halls in Croydon. That's where I live, by the way.
okay, cool.
Yeah, Purple Hills in Croydon, and it was like a school thing. We went and we watched some like dance show. Yeah, it was really good. I was just really excited as a kid. It was just like I was like, wow.
Yay. Um, can you give out a shout out, a very quick one, to the person in the industry who's had the greatest impact on your career so far that you want to
Um,
say thank you to?
um, Probably my boy Kaz, who I was in a group with.
Okay.
um, because he's always just encouraged me. Even like after we left the group and stuff, he was just like, "There's great things for you to do. Like, just do them. Like, don't let no one stop you." Like, he's the most encouraging person. and he's like, I can like he's the optimist. I'm a pessimist. I just always think the worst. Like go to an audition, it was terrible. Like, but he's very much like, bro, if it's not that, then we'll just move on to the next thing. We'll just move on to the next thing. And he's
Yay.
so encouraging. Like, and it's like the type of person that I am. It really helps me. Yeah,
I think everyone needs their own hype man or woman.
yeah, definitely. He's definitely that guy.
But very quickly, separately, for those who only know you from acting, do you want to say what the band was that you were in?
Yeah, so I was in a group called Rough Copy. We was like 10 years, I think it's like 10 years ago now. We was seen on X Factor, in which we came like third. Um, yeah, came off of there and yeah, just done amazing things with the group. We toured, Europe, internationally. Yeah, done some incredible things, had some incredible experiences, and yeah, I wouldn't trade any of them for anything.
And I love that you've been able to pivot from being a perform singer to now having a career as an actor as well.
Yeah. I mean, like as a kid, I always wanted to be an actor. That was my thing.
Oh,
Do you know what I say? I would learn every single program. Like as a kid, you watch so many sitcoms.
yeah.
And Fresh Prince, for example, my favorite sitcom ever. I would be able to speak that now on this day from start to finish.
Oh, wow.
Like every word. And as a kid, I would literally like I was that kid that was like acting out in I was a kid acting out in the living room to like my sisters, my three older sisters, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was like yeah, as a kid, I don't know what it was. It was like, and I was in the little school plays at school. Like I was that kid that just wants to be involved in everything.
So you're now actually living your dream. Is that what?
Yeah,
This is fantastic.
definitely. And it's so weird how I feel like my life's done full circle,
Yeah.
and I'm now doing something that I kind of always wanted to do, but didn't really think or know how to get here. And all of a sudden, I am here, and it's like, wow.
This is wonderful. And finally, very, very finally, why should we come and see Jack and the Beanstalk?
You know what? You should come and see Jack and the Beanstalk because it's so fun. It's going to be so fun. I'm in rehearsals and I'm seeing all the good vibes and all the layers. And it's like the director, Nicholai, and the writer, Sonia, like seeing their reactions to us creating what what it was that they've put together was like such a beautiful thing. There was a moment where there's one scene that gets quite emotional,
Mhm.
and Sonia, the writer, was like blubbering. And afterwards, she was like, Joey, I just like thank you for like creating and like, giving me what I created in my head.
Oh,
Like, do you know what I
wow.
mean? So I was like, oh yeah, I'm just trying my best to give you that. And she was like, no, you have. You've created this character and it's like perfectly what I imagined. So yeah, man, you've got to come and see it. It's gonna
Oh,
be something special.
I'll be definitely coming. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time today. I've absolutely loved speaking to you.